What's up, basketball fans? Welcome to the Rash Report. It is time to talk about the Toronto Raptors, who have recently signed newly acquired Brandon Ingram to a new contract. I'm going to be discussing the details of the contract, my reaction to the contract, and what this means for the Raptors' future moving forward. So if you're ready to watch, make sure to hit the subscribe button. And with that being said, let's get into today's video. It was being reported by Shams Charania that new Toronto Raptors star Brandon Ingram has agreed to a 3-year, $120 million contract extension with the franchise, including a player option in 2027-2028. So breaking down the contract here for you, as you see here, next season with the Toronto Raptors, Brandon Ingram will be making $38 million. The following season, he'll be making $40 million. And this third season, in which he has a player option, will be paying him $41.9 million. Now, my initial reaction to this was I was surprised by not only how decently they have paid Brandon Ingram, but also in terms of the terms as well. The Raptors did not sign him to a 4-year contract, which I was anticipating. They've actually only signed him to a 3-year contract. And not only that, that gives him a player option as well, which I think benefits both sides, given that Brandon Ingram has been very injury prone. So this kind of feels like a prove it contract where once he starts playing well, once he starts getting healthy, he can ask for more money on the free agent market in a couple of seasons from now. But in terms of the money, it is very important to talk about that as well, because the Raptors, I was anticipating the contract to be somewhere in the $42 million per season, but the Raptors have found a happy medium between paying Emmanuel Quickly $35 million and paying Scotty Barnes that much money as well. So it kind of feels like it's a contract between the two, and it's a good, happy medium for both sides here. Both sides obviously agreed to this contract, and it seems like it's a good deal for both sides here. But we do have to talk about salary implications and what this means for the Raptors moving forward. Now, in terms of the money, we always have to talk about this because the new CBA rules are just so difficult to get around. Bobby Webster apparently did say that the Raptors will go into luxury tax, and will pay luxury tax, and they absolutely have to, because taking a look at the salary cap next season, this is not updated. I do want to say it doesn't include Jamison Battle or Brandon Ingram's salaries on here, but for next season, the Toronto Raptors will be at approximately $177 million. And $187 million is where the luxury tax hits. And that's about 4 more positions the Raptors have to fill, including their top 10 pick, who's very likely to be making around $6-7 million. So you can do the math there. The Raptors won't have a ton to spend in terms of money. But also, I believe the reason the Raptors only signed him to a 2 or 3-year contract is because of the term that a lot of people don't like hearing is evaluate. Evaluation is what Masai Ujiri and Bobby Webster are going to do with this roster. Kind of see where it goes, Maybe they do keep RJ Barrett and, they really just see what this roster can do. Are they going to be someone that's going to be the new Chicago Bulls of the Eastern Conference? Are they constantly going to be 8th, 9th, 10th spot in the next couple of seasons? Because if they are, then all of a sudden you have to look at trading different parts and maybe even consider blowing it up and looking to go younger yet again. Or maybe you just decide to move certain parts and trade for that superstar player as well. But furthermore, I think this also implicates that the Raptors are very, very cautious with the salary cap moving forward. We've seen what the Phoenix Suns have done where they've overpaid a lot of guys. You've seen it with the Golden State Warriors where you can't really make a ton of moves because you're in the luxury hell, as I like to describe it. Sure, they got Jimmy Butler, but how difficult was it for a lot of them to get off of salaries, So this is where I think the Raptors are very cautiously giving Brandon Ingram a 3-year contract, because next offseason, guess who you're going to be paying and giving big raises to? Jakob Poeltl, who's making $19.5 million. He's going to decline that option. And then you got Ochai Agbaji as well, who's, expected to make $6.3 million. He's easily doubling that money up and getting that from the Toronto Raptors as well. So the Raptors are going to get very expensive very quickly. And again, I keep mentioning RJ Barrett on the following season. He's going to demand a much bigger contract, as well as our rookies that are going to be Jamal Shed and Jonathan Mogbo, not to mention someone like Grady Dick as well. So again, the Raptors, as you can see, can get expensive really soon, really quickly, which is why I believe the Raptors didn't really want to tie up a whole lot of money in Brandon Ingram and sign him to a 4-year contract, because if the Raptors, if this blows up in their face and all of a sudden the Raptors are, 7th, 8th, 9th place for the next couple seasons, then you do have to question, roster construction and certain pieces in place as well. But I'm very curious to see what the Raptors do moving forward. But as always, we do have to talk about future implications. And one thing I have always stated in the past is if the Raptors are going to be not only making the playoffs, but moving up in the standings, you have to look at the competition around you. So taking a look at the Eastern Conference teams, again, I I do want to highlight a few teams here who I think the Raptors will definitely leap in the next, year or two. A team that comes into mind, obviously, Philadelphia. They just seem like they're ready to blow it up. And if they don't this offseason, they certainly will the following season. Teams like the Chicago Bulls, they're definitely going to trade Nikola Vucevic. I don't see them being better than the Toronto Raptors. And then, of course, you got Miami Heat too. They're a funky team. They really are a funky team. And then you got the Milwaukee Bucks as well, who, again, don't be surprised if another playoff failure or two really leads to the demise of Giannis Antetokounmpo to somewhere else. So again, when you look at the competition overall, the top of the East, there's no doubt about it. Those four teams, are probably going to stay there. Teams like the Pistons are going to get better, but there's other teams like the Hornets, Wizards that definitely aren't going to be better than the Toronto Raptors. So again, the big question for a team like the Toronto Raptors with a healthy Brandon Ingram is what this team looks like moving forward, but also most importantly, where you're going to finish in the standings. If the Raptors surprise everyone next season and finish sixth, that'd be amazing. Realistically, I do see them in the seventh, eighth, ninth spot. And even that's being a little bit generous because I do want to see Brandon Ingram healthy. I think that's the main concern with me about his contract is how healthy can he be? If Brandon Ingram is playing 40 games the next couple seasons, that contract looks horrible. And not only that, he's got a player option for the third season, and he's undoubtedly taking and accepting that player option, which again just puts the Raptors in such a funky position if Brandon Ingram is not healthy. But considering that the Toronto Raptors have one of the better medical staffs in the league, and also what Dyson Daniels has spoken about in terms of him constantly getting injured in New Orleans and something about that team and just organization and him getting injured there. And obviously, you see how healthy he is with the Atlanta Hawks. Here's to hoping Brandon Ingram will be healthy with the Toronto Raptors as well. So I truly believe the Raptors want to evaluate this team moving forward for the next at least two seasons. See how Brandon Ingram fits in with Scotty Barnes and Emmanuel quickly. If they decide to keep RJ Barrett, maybe they will, but I don't think they'll be a great defensive team. That is my main concern. I am very curious to see how they handle the Jakob Pearl and Ochai Abaji situation as well, considering that both of those guys will be looking for pay raises the following season as well. So I'm very curious to hear what you think. What do you think of this new Toronto Raptors, team? How do you think they'll look in a year? Give me your prediction for how the Raptors will look next season. Where you think the Raptors will be in terms of standings. And most importantly, let's get into our trivia question for today. And the trivia question for today is, where do the Raptors rank in the NBA in three-point shots made? So again, three-point shots made, not percentage. Are they A, 23rd? Is it B, 29th? Is it C, 21st? Or is it D, 26th? So whoever answers this trivia question correctly first in the comment section gets a shout out in my next video. So that will be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I do want to say I do read your comments, guys. I apologize. I have not been able to get to the comments from my last video. I've been extremely busy with work, but I do appreciate you guys. I do see your comments and I do appreciate your support as well. So thank you once again for watching, and I hope you guys have yourselves a great day.